Today is April 9th, 1997. We're interviewing Rozalia Weinberger, maiden name Mermelstein Weiss. My name is Esther Finder. We're in Silver Spring, Maryland, and the language will be English. Today is April 9th, 1997. We're interviewing Rozalia Weinberger, maiden name Mermelstein Weiss. My name is Esther Finder. We're in Silver Spring, Maryland, and the language will be English. I want to thank you for doing the interview with us today. What is your name?
My name is Rozalia Weinberger.
Could you spell that for me, please?
Rozalia
What was your name at birth?
Mermelstein, Weiss Mermelstein.
Can you spell them for me?
My father's name was W-E-I-S. Here they write it in America with two S's. My mother's name was Mermelstein, M-E-R-M-E-L-S-T-E-I-N. Mermelstein.
When were you born?
September 9, 1919.
How old are you?
I just was 67 in September. 77.
And where were you born?
I was born, the town was called in Hungarian Szarvaskút. In Goyish, in Russian, it was Ulanyovo.
Could you spell one or the other for me?
The Hungarian was S-O-R-V-O-S-K-U-T.
Is that where you grew up?
Yes.
What was it like growing up in this town?
We don't know better. This was 40 kilometers from the big town, from Munkács. And there were 6 Jewish families in the town. And we played like other kids. And
were there good relations between the Jews and the non-Jews in your town?
the non-Jews, they all worked for the Jews. So, and they all spoke Yiddish because they worked for the Jews. And if my parents, a guy went into the house, my father used to say, "Hoilige bias around."
Could you translate that for me?
Go into the house. And the relation was good. We played with the kids too. We went to school. Because they all went to school because there was a rule. Everybody who don't want even to go to school, the gendarmerie came and they took them to school. And I had 2 friends, the principal's 2 daughters. One was Baba, the other one was Itza. And I used to go to their house. My father was friendly very with the principal because he was teaching too. And they had a piano, we didn't have a piano. And we played together. We used to go In the winter was big snow, you know, we used to go to with slides. And then we used to go on the ice around the 3 kilometers with the river. You know.
Is it like skating?
I don't have skate. We went to Gitchen.
With your shoes?
Yeah.
Skating with your shoes, yeah. What languages did you speak in your home when you were growing up?
I spoke 2 languages. I spoke Yiddish, and the other language was, we called it Goyish, but it was like Russian, Ukrainian.
And the school you went to was a public school?
It was a public school.
I'd like to ask you some questions about your family. What was your father's first name?
Yitzhak, in Yiddish. Itzhak, they used to call him Itzhak.
What did he do for a living?
He was teaching Jewish history in the public schools. You know, they're in every village, in every bigger town. He used to go by bus in the morning, and he used to teach an hour in the Czech school and in the Russian schools. And he got paid by the government. In the summer, he used to travel. He liked to travel. Every summer, he went to Switzerland, and he came home and he was making chocolate. He went to London. He went to France. He came home and he was making soap, trying to make smelling soap. But yes, he did.
What was your mother's first name?
Malka, Malvin.
And what work did she do?
We were 8 kids, so it was enough. We had a maid. We used to call her the shiksa. And my mother had enough of work with 8 kids. My grandmother, we lived with my grandmother because my grandmother had 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl. The boys got married and went away, and my mother stayed in the house. And my grandmother died in the house.
What was her name?
Her name was Betty.
Can you tell me the names of your brothers and sisters? Who was the oldest?
I was the oldest one. And there was another brother, Srul Duat. We called him Dudi. And after was Leah. And after was a boy, he was called Elia. And after was a girl, she was called Chayasura. And after were another girl, Feiga, and the youngest one was Esther Dvoira.
Was your family religiously observant?
Yes.
What traditions did you follow?
We were Jews, and if we asked something for my father, what do we do this? He used to say, "Frag nicht kan schales, but mach it."
Don't ask questions, just do it?
Just do it. And my mother used to sing to us, and my father used to tell us stories. He was talking about the Baal Shem Tov. My mother had a beautiful voice, and she used to sing all the time.
Was your family Orthodox?
Yeah.
Can you tell me some of the Orthodox?
I tell you something. We don't know what is Orthodox. We know what was Neolog. Neolog was like here Reform. But they were religious more than here. But this wasn't in our town. This was just in the big towns.
So what traditions did you observe in your family? Did your mother have her head covered?
Oh, my mother was shaved. She had shaven her head. She had a beautiful sheitel. And in the house she was wearing, it was something called, I don't remember what it was called. It was like a kerchief and had hair on it. And my grandmother was shaven too.
Did you have a favorite holiday?
They were all favorite.
Did you have one favorite when you were a child?
This was favorite Pesach. We used to play with knots outside, put one over the other and throw. But it's really Sukkot. But we kept everything, Simple story was, we used to go to shul, and we used to have an apple, and over the apple we used to have a phone, what is it? Like a flag. And a candle was burning. So we used to make things. We used to go and try to burn the other child's flag.
You went to public school. Did you have any formal Jewish education?
My father used to come in school and used to be there an hour. But Jewish education, when we were little, we had 8 kids, and there was another friend who had 8 kids. And when we were little, they used to hire a malamed. So he was teaching in our house for a while and eating in our house and sleeping. And after, I don't remember how it was, every week or every 4 weeks, and after the same thing, he was teaching, he was doing in the other house. They were here. If we wanted to go to the other family, we used to go say, we are going to Anyu, a Hungarian mother. And when they wanted to come to our house, they used to say, I'm going to Mommy. My mother was called Mommy. And, but we were not allowed, the girls were not allowed to learn Chumash, but just to daven and how to write and read. I remember I was once whispering the Chumash, and the Malamed came and he had a twig, and he was hitting me. I was not supposed to know this. Girls don't learn this. And when the boys got bigger, they went 10 kilometers to a Haider. Then we don't have any more a Malamed.
Did you experience any anti-Semitism when you were growing up?
We don't know it. But the kids with whom I used to play used to go to Palestine. Go to Palestine. And they couldn't show it. They all spoke Yiddish, and they worked by the Jews. We had land too, and we had like 2 cows for milk, just for the house, And they all worked by the Jews.
What were some of the businesses that the Jews owned in the town that employed the other people?
One had a big store. He had everything in the store, a variety store. And he had even drinks. So the Gom used to go there to drink too. Because this was a town around and around with big forests. And it was a lot of lumber. My grandfather was in the lumber business too. Before he died, I don't know when he died. I don't know him. And the other one, the other family, they had some business too. Mineral waters. We had the mineral waters. My grandmother had it too because she had something like a Yerisha. So they used to bottle it and put it in cases and put it in wagons and deliver it. They used to hire. We don't have a wagon. And my mother's brother had it in the big town too, in a store, in a liquor store. He was selling this mineral water. We had very good mineral water.
In the 1930s, did you have any idea of what was going on in Germany with Hitler and the Nazi movement?
I tell you something. My father came home from Germany. This was his last trip, the summer trip where he used to travel. And I remember he used to say, I was a kid. I don't understood what they are talking about. And he used to tell everybody came to our house, you know, somebody came from far away. And he was a little bit more learned than them. And he said in Germany it was so light, like in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night. So I don't know what it was. It was probably the Kristallnacht or what.
Do you remember when that last trip was?
It's about 32, 33, I don't remember exactly. Well, because I remember all the time when he used to come home in the summer. From his trips, everybody used to come and listen to him.
But do you remember reading about it in the local newspaper or hearing the Jewish community talking about it?
Nobody knew nothing.
So you didn't hear about Kristallnacht yourself?
No.
Do you remember the first time you heard that Poland had been invaded?
Yes. Because they took Jews. I remember they said Poland was invaded in 1939, in September, I think. And they used to take Jews who don't have Hungarian citizenship. They used to take they took my father's sister, the whole family there. And they used to kill them and throw them in the Dnieper, in the river. They were very malicious. Not a lot of people came home from there back, from Poland.
So this person was in Poland at the time?
No, they took them from the house. They used to come to look for my father too. But the head of the town, when the gendarmerie, gendarmerie is like the police, wanted to go to, and the head of the town used to send somebody to say the gendarmerie is here. So my father used to go and hide the whole day.
When was this?
This was after 40.
Let's do this slowly, starting with 39. When Poland was invaded, did that have any impact at all on your family or your community?
No.
Can you tell me about your life in 1940? What was going on with you in 1940?
Nothing was going on. I went to learn how to sew.
Was there any opportunity for you to speak with people who had fled from German-controlled areas? Were there refugees coming to your area?
Refugees used to come from Poland. And they used to go, and they used to hide here. Not in our town, but they used to go to Munkac, and this we knew, because the Germans were there.
And did you have any contact with them, any of the refugees?
No.
Did they tell you about what life was like?
I just heard talking about.
Were there any changes in your government, in their government policy toward Jews in 1940 or 41?
No. But as was in the bigger towns, they took away already from people the right of big things. And they were already something hitting people, you know, pulling the beards. This we heard. This was something called the sieges. This was something a new thing after 38, after 39. My father was teaching till 39, because they told him he should learn, take and make the whole thing in Hungarian. In 38, because the Hungarian came and liberated us. you know, because it was Czechoslovakia first. And he should, you know, do everything in Hungarian if he wants to teach. So he bought all the books, and he said, "Sen is voor een alten beer."
Can you translate for me?
It's not for an old bear. He don't want to, because it wasn't good anymore. The pay was less, you know, so he lost the job.
Can you tell me about this change in government and how it impacted the Jewish community?
When the Hungarians came in, Czechoslovakia was a very good land. They used to call it small America, you know? And when the Hungarians came in, it was already Hungarians, and after it was called Sitges something. I don't know, this was something anti-Semitic place, people too. And they used to take away big, you couldn't go to Hungary anymore. You had to have papers to travel, you know, and like this.
Did you or your family ever think of leaving Europe? Were you ever afraid of the Nazis coming in your direction?
We don't know they will come here. We were sure. People used to go to Israel, some of them. My father was against Israel, to go to Israel.
Why?
I don't know why. Because in Munkac, when they were building the Hebrew gymnasium, the Munkacher Rebbe made a fast day, you know, because Hebrew wasn't kosher or what, you know.
Can you tell me how things began to change and how they began to worsen for the Jews in your area? Can you walk me through some of the changes?
It was quieter, it was more quieter, you know, and people from Slovakia, we began to hear things, you know, and it's really, in our town, it don't change very much. But in the bigger towns, you could hear things.
Well, how did things change for you and your family? When did you start feeling that there were changes happening?
My father don't have a job.
Right.
And after he used to buy from the Grove, this was like from the Kant, a piece of wood land, and he used to hire people and used to cut it out, you know, the lumber, and used to sell it. And this was enough money for a year. And this used to be mostly in the beginning of the winter. And
well, let me rephrase my question. When did the war and the anti-Semitism come to you and your community?
I tell you something. This was already in 44. In the beginning of 44, it was Hungarian soldiers there. And they came in, and my mother used to give them black bread we couldn't get, you know. And he used to say, oh, his parents have white bread. But otherwise, they were not showing it.
So in the years of 40, 41, 42, and 43, you were left alone and
No.
the war wasn't really touching you? I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you.
I don't think so. They took away the men. They took away my father for a while in labor camps.
Who took him?
The Hungarian government came. They took him. And what he did, I don't know. He said he paid 500 penge, and his name disappeared. They never called him back. But my brother went in to labor camp. He was 20. And my uncles went away. And you couldn't get a lot of things already, you know.
So when did they start taking the Jewish men for labor?
They began to take them already in 41, 40 or 41.
Did you experience any increase in anti-Semitism starting in 41 and 42?
In our town, no, but in the bigger towns, people were scared. They were breaking windows.
Was there anything else that happened in 41 or 42 or 43 in that time period that you want to talk about? Other changes that impacted you, your family, your community?
Nothing happened in the community. Just everybody, the men were taken away, who could work, not the old men.
When did the big changes start for your community?
It started already in 44.
What were some of the first changes?
Oh, they were more, the Gentiles, they were more free to talk. All the Jews are rich, and the Jews have everything. Otherwise, we don't have programs like they had in Poland.
What were some of the other changes that started happening in 44?
I remember my mother had to go to a hospital, and it was hard to get in. To take her to the hospital, it was 40 kilometers. They took her in a wagon, and they put in, you know, feather covers, you know, and they took her to the hospital, and she was sick. And we don't have money already then, you know. It was very hard to get by.
We're going to pause now and change the tape.